What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we get to talk about E3. Oh, thank Jesus Christ. It's like Christmas in April. And on a side note, yesterday was like one of the most dead days I've ever seen. Yes, I understand the Loki trailer. Yes, I understand the Mortal Kombat stuff, but that really, the excitement for that went away after a couple hours from what I noticed on the internet. E3. So, I've had mixed feelings, and I'm always going to have mixed feelings about E3, but we now know a pretty, I would say, concrete list of who's going to be there at E3 and who is not going to be there at E3. So I want to read them out. We'll go over who is, who isn't. We can speculate a little bit on, the games and stuff. I do want to have a couple of just public service announcements about E3, maybe that people maybe have forgotten or they just don't know about, and we're going to go from there. I do want to say this early on. People have been asking me, and I'm sure, considering the kind of channel I am, as we get closer, I'm going to do, you can't even count how many videos on E3, okay? So there's going to be loads and loads of videos leading into it, predictions for each of the publishers going for any game I can think of. I mean, it's going to be insane. May and June are going to be insane for this channel. It really, really will. So you can definitely expect that. I've been doing that actually for years, but I'll definitely go all out this time. And then we'll see what happens when E3 actually starts, whether it be like co-streaming it or making videos like directly after. I'm sure I'll have some plans for that as well. Okay, so with that being said, if you guys do like that plan, and I promise you that will be the plan, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on. And also, my second channel becomes very important as well because I will be covering a lot of it over there as well. It's called Podcast Now Plus. Link for it is in the description below, along with all of my other social media stuff. Okay, would love to have you guys over there. All right, let's read through this. So there's not, I guess, let me say this, June 12th to June 15th. So for anybody who doesn't know the day, June 12th through June 15th, there's still a little bit of mixed, I don't even know what you want to say, mixed words on what's going to be available to the public. They say, so this comes from GameIndustry.biz, they say this year's show will be online only, but very little details are available besides that. But the press release states that developers will be showcasing their latest news and games directly to fans around the world, with the ESA working with media to amplify and make this content available to everyone for free. But then there's also, I saw other people talk that there may still be things behind, not necessarily paywalls. Remember, we talked about the paywall thing, and I don't think that was an April Fool's joke, by the way. 100% don't think that. I think that was real. I think they were considering a paywall to be able to look at some of the E3 stuff, and they got met with just a massive backlash where they took it down within like an hour. Okay, that's what I truly believe has happened. But from what I've seen, okay, it seems like there could still be stuff that's put behind like media only, so only media members. Now I'll apply if there's a media. I'm gonna go on their site actually when I'm done with videos today. I'll try and apply for a media, and I'll see if I can, get in there and see what I can bring you guys from that end. I don't expect myself to get in, but we'll see what happens. But that's something to keep in mind. So it's like a 4-day event. Normally, E3 is like first 2 days conferences, next 2-3 days is show floor stuff where people get to play, media get to play. There's a lot of interviews. There's a lot of extended demos. That's normally what happens at E3. So it'll be interesting to see how they stretch it across several days when it's only online. Again, the rumor was maybe there's demos. They'll show demos that we get to play at home. But then there was the talk that could be behind a paywall. But that's so that's a little something to know. Now, I guess publishers, I want to say people, but they're publishers that are going to be there. Nintendo, Xbox or Microsoft, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Bros, and Koch Media. So those are, let me say this. It's an impressive lineup. It's also a sizable amount of publishers that are not going. And those are Sony, EA, Activision, Blizzard, Sega, Bandai Namco, and Square Enix. And obviously more. I think they are not including some of the smaller ones. I think the press release does have more of them. And it says that you can still technically, if you are a publisher out there, if you're publishing a game, you can still sign up to be at E3, at least for now. I think over the next couple days or couple weeks, and then they kind of close it off. I think any of those publishers that are not going are still not going to go, okay? So what does this mean? Well, I want to say this before I go into maybe predictions and what we could, but this is what we should expect. Remember, back about a couple weeks ago, there was rumors, and I do believe them, and I think it's going to end up being true, okay? It's coming from the exact same people that are talking about this stuff. So if you believe this stuff, you should believe that stuff as well. And they said that the biggest announcements that these publishers are going to make this summer will not be at E3. They're going to E3 basically to appease the ESA, which is the kind of the board that's behind E3. Okay, it's the ESA, and there's some very bad, shady things about them, but that's a separate topic for a separate video. But they're pretty much going because like they're gonna show stuff. I'm not saying they're not gonna show anything. I'm not saying there won't be brand new games, and I hope there are new announcements. I hope there are. I mean, trust me, the channel over the past couple of weeks, we need news, okay? So I will take anything, even if it's just given to us in like a 4-day period. I'll take all of it, okay? But I think it's important for our expectations, and I always say that word, right? The expectations. We gotta be careful because, again, rumor has it rumor has it there could be big stuff, but the biggest things from these publishers will not be at E3. They will do it themselves. Now, what's interesting is the way they worded it. What I read to you guys before we went over who's there, who's not there, where they said that they're basically showcasing stuff that publishers are doing. They word that almost like Summer Game Fest from Jeff Keighley, right? Where it's like publishers will do stuff. We will be a platform to deliver it to the people, although it didn't really end up happening that way. When there's a Sony State of Play, obviously, yes, people watch it in all of the different, some people watch it from IGN's live stream, some people watch it from Summer Game Fest, some people watch it from Sony themselves, right? Most people will watch it from Sony themselves, okay? So if you want to say you're like a broadcaster of it, you can, but it's not really that big of a deal. The way they're wording it is weird, but I think just because it's all online, that's kind of how you have to word it, where it's like they'll probably take place from these publishers. These publishers will come up with a presentation, and they will be given to E3, and E3 will present them to the people. You know what I mean? That's the way I think it's gonna go, and that's the way they're wording it, kind of, but not exactly, but that's what I think. And again, it's a solid lineup. I see people, obviously the big news is Sony's not going, okay? Sony hasn't gone to E3 for, I believe, 3 years, and maybe even longer. Nintendo has been absent for an extraordinarily long time. They were the first ones, remember, to basically boycott E3. Then it was, Sony, EA was going to do it. Ubisoft, I believe, was going to do it as well. A lot of publishers were leaving E3. Remember, I'm not a big fan of E3, and really, I don't think E3 is going to be around all that much longer, which I don't think is a bad thing, because these publishers can do stuff on their own, okay? But what's interesting is Sony's still not doing it, but Nintendo, for whatever reason, is back. So, I don't even know, 5, 6, 7, it's been a long time. It's easily half a decade that they haven't been at E3, and they're back. But again, I feel like that kind of just comes, maybe they won't do anything besides E3. Like Sony, they will do State of Plays on their own. You know what I mean? EA has EA Play. I think Activision can go by themselves. Square Enix, we've seen Square Enix do Square Enix Presents. I think that worked rather well for them. So these publishers can all go completely on their own. What I think is interesting is Nintendo. Obviously, Microsoft's going to go to pretty much everything, okay? Again, I don't know how much you'd really expect. From what I've seen, Bethesda will be part of this. Bethesda will be part of Xbox's showing, but Xbox will go first, and then it'll lead into Bethesda. Okay, so that's what I've heard, that that's what's going to end up happening. That's what I've read online, I guess. Konami is interesting that they're going. Ubisoft is interesting because Ubisoft can also do their own stuff. Take-Two, so that's GTA, so maybe GTA 5's next-gen thing. Warner Bros., I understand a lot of people would get very excited. Again, if they do the biggest thing, do they, I don't even know. You don't give a release date for Gotham Knights and Hogwarts Legacy right now. So maybe Lego Star Wars. We'll talk more about literally all of these possibilities as we get closer. And Koch Media, don't sleep on them. They publish 500 games. They publish a large amount of games. So I'm sure they'll have some pretty cool stuff as well. So very exciting. I mean, the summer is going to be pretty incredible. I believe so. June is already the Summer Game Fest, which I do think Jeff Keighley will do stuff separately from E3. You have E3 with sizable publishers that'll be there. They'll do conferences that won't maybe be the biggest things of all time, but they'll definitely be news. And then you'll have everybody who didn't go. They'll probably do their own stuff maybe around the same time. And then we may get stuff again as the summer goes on into July, into August. Remember last year, Microsoft did one in May and July. Sony did one in June and September. I believe Ubisoft went in July as well. EA was that in August? Gamescom is in August. So there's a lot that can happen really between May and September. I would say that is a wide range. And then after that, we should have games coming out, right? September, October, November. There's a lot of games. So you guys can tell from my voice, I'm excited. I truly am. I really don't like E3. I really don't think it'll be around much longer, but I will consume it. I will be right here with you making videos on it because, it's something. It's absolutely something. I would rather have it be spaced out and just have all these publishers do their own thing where they're not taking away from each other 5 minutes later, which I think is probably one of the bigger things that I don't like about E3. But it's been so bad so far this year. Okay, so we if they want to give us stuff 4 days in a row that's just nonstop and people forget about the day 1 announcements because we're on day 3, fine, let it be that way then, okay? So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Are you excited? What do you think about the publishers going, not going? And I wouldn't worry about any of it. Again, the publishers going, they may not even show. If you're like, oh my God, Nintendo and Microsoft are going and Sony isn't, Microsoft may not show all that much, and then Sony may have their own thing and show more than some of these publishers are doing at E3. I'm not making it like a war between publishers. I think Microsoft will also do their own thing. Probably in July, they'll do their own thing. It's just going to be how it goes, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Again, make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, all of that good stuff. Again, my second channel, Twitter, if you guys want to follow me over there. All my social media stuff is in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.